Marjorie Taylor Greene said that earlier today she was going to put out a statement about all that's going on, and some people got their hopes up that perhaps she would resign, but no, that's the rational thing to do. And remember, we're talking about Marjorie Greene. Instead, she just said she's not gonna back down from the mob because they're lying about her and they're smearing her. And when a Republican or when a conservative media person says that they're being lied about or smeared, what it means is that they're being quoted and they find that to be inconvenient. And so I wanna show you, like this is the things that she said. This is not speculation about her beliefs, but here are just some of the crazy things that Marjorie Taylor Greene, congressperson, believes. So that is a gigantic wall of text, but I will sum it up for you. The Camp Fire in California, the worst wildfire in California to that point, she believes was not caused by electrical equipment from PG&E. She believes that space lasers owned by the Rothschilds were beaming energy back to America, and a blue beam of light shot California and burned down the forest. And perhaps it ends there, or perhaps it was done on purpose so that Governor Brown could get his high-speed rail. All of that is in that thing. Space lasers owned by nefarious Jewish businessmen behind the scenes, all so they can get some sort of big commie lib public transit project. And that's just one of the crazy things that she believes. Really fast, and I'll give you both a chance to jump in. Let's also throw in, she on video, so I guess it's a lie and a smear, but you can watch the video of her saying it. In 2019, so all of a year and a half ago, she said that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had been replaced with a body double that wasn't actually her. It was a clone or someone that looked like her. And we've got video that we can go to in a few, but like this is just reruns of InfoWars. This is just Alex Jones. But Alex Jones was never crazy enough to run for office and win. Has he been missing out on opportunity? Could he be Texas's junior senator right now? Because apparently these beliefs are not an impediment to being elected to Congress.
So I guess when you talk about her being crazy or crazy enough to run, the immediate question that I have, and this is all Rashad's neck of the woods, so he can answer the question better than I could even begin to unpack it. Who's crazier, her for running or the people for voting for her? I think that's really like the real question. Which one takes the crazy? Because at the end of the day, I was familiar with the post that you just went over, John, and I was insistent that somewhere there was a missing script from the next Jason Bourne movie where he came in at the end and stopped this nefarious plot of the space lasers and the high-speed train, because that's the only thing that would actually make sense to me, is that this would be part of some huge action plot, because it's absolutely that absurd and that ridiculous. But what it also tells me is that, similar to what we saw with QAnon and everybody who was sort of looking for something there is a faction of the American electorate that wants to believe something greater. And I think what that tells me on a larger scale, something more seriously, is that it actually potentially represents an opportunity for a third party or for an offshoot of either major party to provide something of value, substantive value to folks who are actually really willing to look at something different and do something other than what we've been doing. Because that's the only explanation that I have for these wackadoodle type of theories that keep surfacing and that people keep latching onto.
Rashad, are you gonna answer for the fact that she's from your area and she believes in Jewish space lasers?
Hell no.
Is that a thing down there? That's not a tradition or anything, is it?
Man, let me tell you, I'm convinced that we're actually in the twilight zone, we just don't know it. And that's why these things are happening to us and around us. We came from a parallel universe. I guess my assessment is just as credible as hers, right? If we're in a parallel universe. Here's the reality of what happened. No jokes here. There was a 1-2 combination. The first hit was the indoctrination of this group of people, the voters that said, this is our person. They were indoctrinated for years, and they were indoctrinated by Donald J. Trump. And that indoctrination was protected, promoted by leaders of the Republican Party like Mitch McConnell and others. So that was your first hit, the indoctrination. The indoctrination said this: science means nothing. Truth is debatable. Facts are fake news. Listen to what Trump says Don't worry about the facts or the evidence in front of you. That was the indoctrination. The second punch, the second item was the radicalization. There are literally individuals who have been radicalized, like what you saw at the Capitol and others. These individuals in her district that voted for her, they had a choice. They had a Republican primary. In that district, I would argue, Republicans are no more. This is something undefined. This is something not Republican-like. It is different. It has morphed. It has transformed into something unrecognizable. Remember, when you're voted in a congressional district, you are the personification of the majority of those voters. Who is she? She is them. They are her. Does she seem like a conservative Republican? Does she seem like a typical Republican? Of course not. She doesn't fit any of these molds, but her district doesn't either. And this came over time. This did not happen overnight. And to unravel it, it would take time as well. And I really hope President Biden and Vice President Harris and others understand the era that they are in. This is not the time, in my opinion, for Pelosi not to call somebody out. This is the time to call people out by name.
Well, look, there was video of her talking about how white supremacy doesn't exist and black men are just held down by the fact that they won't leave gangs. And there's her going on for a minute and a half about how the Vegas shooting was an attempt by the liberals to get rid of guns. It was a faked shooting too. All of them are. Every single shooting is faked.
Except the ones done by black people. Those are real to her.
Of course. But the mass shootings, I just don't like. I just can't understand why. If the damn libs are going to go to all this trouble of faking these shootings, why do they keep forgetting to take the guns after? They just keep faking it to justify taking the guns, and they never actually take the guns.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.